6. Common lies about the narcissist's ex. The ex-partner. There will always be one when you engage with our kind, because we accumulate them in the same way that people buy clothes, easily, frequently, and prone to being in or out of fashion. We will readily forget about an ex as if they had never existed, or resurrect them in order to prove what we had to endure before you came along, or to remind you that you have fallen from grace, and we ought really to have stayed with your predecessor. The ex-partner is a staple ingredient in any of the triangulations which we deploy with you. You never know the truth about our ex-partners from what we say. You may speak to them at some point and learn the truth, possibly even allying with one another. But we will busy ourselves with the new person, focusing on the replacement, happy to forget the exes or peddle more lies about them. Here are 6 of our favourite and typically contradicted lies about our exes. Number 1. I was abused by them. Straight out of the gates and tearing along Sympathy Highway is the frequent refrain of how badly we have been treated by your predecessor. She or he was a monster, horrible and heartless. I treated him or her so well, like a prince or princess, giving that person so much love and attention, and all they ever did was throw it back in my face. I gave them my all, and I got nothing back but abuse, violence, sexual humiliation, financial ruin, name-calling, silent treatments, you name it. I was subjected to it. My massive dose of projection is aimed at smearing the predecessor should they ever come to you and attempt to convince you that I was actually the abuser. I also want you to feel sorry for me, and with that delicious empathic nature of yours, that you want to protect me from the beast, that harpy, that vicious ex who harmed such a precious and wonderful person such as me. Such comments are made primarily to assert control over you as the new intimate partner primary source, and as a collateral consequence where you're dealing with a lesser or mid-range narcissist to create the impression that that other individual is bad, and that will aid us in the future. That, of course, is a calculated response where you're dealing with the greater or the ultra. And with all of these comments that are made, we are also asserting control indirectly over your predecessor at the same time as we are asserting control over you. We're killing 2 empaths with 1 stone. Number 2, I was trapped by them. She or he knew they were onto a good thing, when they met me. I am a good person, always looking to help people, think the best of them, and do the right thing. I've always been regarded as a catch, of course, and I know you'll agree with me as I tell you that someone like me, beautiful, intelligent, well-read, urbane, successful, well-paid, entertaining, and magnetic, is quite the trophy. I can see you nodding in agreement. I don't ask for much because I am giving and tolerant, and I think they knew that about me because he or she took advantage of my better nature and trapped me as soon as they could. They made me move in with them. They moved in with me. They made me buy a house with them. They proposed to me within 2 weeks of meeting. I became pregnant. She fell pregnant within moments. I didn't mind because I'm such a firm believer in love, but now when I look back, I realize that I was taken for a ride. They wanted to trap me, and they did this by cohabiting, marrying, having a child so soon after meeting. I'm not one, to shirk my responsibilities, and I stood by them, notwithstanding how horrible they were to me once they knew that I couldn't leave. Don't misunderstand me. There's nothing wrong with moving in so soon or becoming engaged within weeks or conceiving in a matter of a month or 2 of meeting, but it has to be with the right person, hasn't it? A massive reversal of roles as I tell you the truth of what has happened with the ex, but reverse the roles and then use it to lay the ground for doing exactly the same to you, albeit with your prior approval and blessing. Number 3, they are crazy. I have to warn you about my crazy ex. She is obsessed with me. She won't leave me alone. She checks my social media profile. I know because my friends tell me, and she uses fake profiles to leave me messages and comments. I would close my profiles down, but why should I? Because that would be letting her win, wouldn't it? She hangs around outside when I work and follows me to my house. She'll probably try and speak to you, and no doubt tell you lots of lies about me. Don't believe a word of what she says. She just cannot get over the fact that I finished with her and she cannot let go. She has to know what I am doing because her life is so empty. She lives through me, you see. But don't worry. I know what she is up to, and I will deal with her at the suitable time. You have no need to be afraid, as I will look after you. But I felt it only right to warn you, because she will obviously try and split us up. Not that that is going to happen, is it? Good. I'm glad you nodded and smiled. She is a complete whack job. More projection and smearing of the ex in order to bring them under control through the indirect assertion of control, and to draw sympathy, to draw support from you as a purposes of ensuring that you are similarly under control. We paint them as the crazy one in order to ensure that you are bound closer to us, and where dealing with the greater or ultra, this is a conscious act to protect our interests at a later juncture, and where a lesser or mid-range narcissist does so, the creation of the image of the other individual as a crazy ex, so that if they approach you in the future, is a collateral consequence of the assertion of control in the instant, over both you directly, by talking about the ex in this manner, by making you seem like you're good, by flattering and praising you, and contrasting this with their behaviour, which is seen as offensive, difficult, and your agreement to our conclusion as to what they are allows us to indirectly assert control over them. Number 4, better than you. I don't know why I got with you. You treat me far worse than my ex. I should have stayed with him or her and never bothered with you. You just annoy me all of the time, not like her or him. He or she was wonderful, interesting, and thoughtful, and they loved me more than you ever could do. I don't know why I let you lead me away from them. I must have been put under some kind of spell. Is that what you did? Did you charm me away from them in order to make us both unhappy? What a horrible person you are. They're better cook, stroke worker, stroke entertainer, stroke person, stroke lover, stroke parent, stroke host than you. I must have taken leave of my senses when I chose you over them. You should look at them and learn from them, and perhaps, just perhaps, you might make amends for what you have done and make me happy again. I should go back to them, but why should I give you the satisfaction of hurting me again? I'm going to make you work hard and give you a chance, because this is the type of person that I am, to make amends for the horrible things that you have done. You have a chance to make it up with me and to try harder. What are you waiting for? Classic triangulation by suggesting that actually we ought to have stayed with the person before you. This, of course, is doled out against you during sustained devaluation, and is part of threat and loss that we might leave you and go back to them. The use of promise gain, get your shit together and sort yourself out, and you might just prevent me from going. All done to assert control over you and draw fuel from you. Number 5, I still love her. I still love her. I do. Sometimes you meet somebody who has that effect, and you have made me realise that I still love her, more than I love you. I know that may sound harsh, but if you can take one thing away from you and I, that is, you have helped me realise what I truly feel and what I need. You will always have my thanks for that. I know this may hurt you, and you should take solace from the fact that you have done everything good and made me realise what is worth fighting for. I must go and win her back and tell her that I love her. I'm sure you can find happiness for yourself somewhere, but it's not going to be with me. I know you love me. I'm easy to fall in love with, but I want someone else more than I want you, and you should know by now I don't accept second best. So I'm going to go now and be with the one that I truly love. Of course, the narcissist doesn't love anybody, and this comment is done to devalue you. It's threaten loss, or it might actually be said at the point of disengagement. You're being triangulated with the other person, who, of course, not that many moons ago, we smeared the backside off by saying that they were nuts, and we much preferred you. But such a contradictory behaviour doesn't concern us because of our compartmentalisation, our sense of entitlement. The fact is, this is done to control you and draw fuel from you, and may well be said as we disengage from you and go back to the ex, who is now painted white because you're painted black. Number 6. She still loves me. What can I say? She loves me still, and I suppose you shall just have to get used to that being the case. You should understand, because I know how much you love me, and she is the same. I guess we will just have to live with the fact that she will keep reaching out to me, wanting me and trying to come between us. But I know I can count on you to stop that happening, can't I? No. There's no need to reproach her. I think it'd only be upsetting for both of you. I know I can't help but care about you both, for you are both special to me, but leave her be. Let me handle it. The best thing that you can do is love me more than she does, adore me more than she does, and do everything in your power to keep me here. It shouldn't be hard, should it, given that I love you so much? In such an instance, this might be done where it almost seems like a form of backhanded compliment to the devalued IPPS whilst they're being triangulated with the former IPPS. This could also be utilised in a situation involving a secondary source, where there are two individuals and the secondary source that is being courted is triangulated with the former intimate partner primary source to get them to up their game, to test them, to ascertain whether they are suitable for promotion to the position of intimate partner primary source. Or, if the narcissist is inherently determined that's not going to happen, or at least not yet, this triangulation is done by way of a corrective devaluation against that intimate partner secondary source, or dirty little secret, for the purpose of asserting control over them through this corrective devaluation and drawing of fuel. It may also be the case that, of course, the narcissist, through delusion and grandiosity, talks about how the ex still loves him, and in actual fact, the ex actually hates the narcissist and never wants to see them again. But there is nothing wrong in the deluded mind of the narcissist to say to the contrary, for the purposes of asserting control over the relevant appliance that is being dealt with in that instant, and to draw fuel from them. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.